Good morning, beautiful people. Today is Wednesday, August 7th, and I am at the office. I got here a bit early, around 8:30 a.m., and I just quickly did my to-do list and just answered a few pending emails that I had. This past weekend was a long weekend because Monday was civic holiday, and so I worked from home on Monday and Tuesday, and now I'm back in the office to continue working because, as I mentioned in the previous video, I have lots on my to-do list. So over the weekend, me and my husband went thrifting, and I went to 3 stores on Saturday and Sunday, and I only found 2 pieces of clothing because at the moment I'm trying to get a few more nice blouses or t-shirts because I don't really have much. Pretty much what you see me wear on my videos is all that I own. So I haven't really had a closet update since like before the pandemic, and just starting last year around the fall time, I started to thrift for clothing pieces. But with thrifting, not every thrift experience is a successful one. You know, some thrifts will have 1 piece or 2 pieces that you like, and then you go to another thrift and then they'll have like 5 pieces that you like. So on the weekend, I barely found anything. I only found 2 things. I found this really cute kind of cardigan and a white Tommy Hilfiger t-shirt. On Monday, while it was a civic holiday, retail stores were open, so I wanted to go get my hair cut because my cousin is out of town for a few weeks, and so I need to get my hair cut and I can't really be waiting for her. So I attempted to go get my hair cut on Monday, but all the salons were closed. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do? And then one of the salons that I went to was right beside a thrift shop, so I was like, hey, I'm just gonna stop by and see if I can find anything. And to my surprise, I found quite a few pieces. I even found a rain jacket. I spoke about this in my previous video. I'm super happy I found that rain jacket. It's a nice Columbia jacket. I paid $17 for it compared to paying it brand new over $100. So I'm really happy with all the nice clothing pieces that I found. I'm going to show them here just quickly so you can see the type of vibe that I'm going for. I'm sticking to really neutral colors and kind of like breathable and girly colors. I know there's not like any pink or purple, but to me, just having like those natural bright colors is feminine. So yeah, I'm trying to bring this forth in my fashion, and I feel like all these pieces that I got bring that energy and vibe out. And throughout my whole upbringing, like my high school, I was a emo scene kid, so I was always wearing black. Then when I was working in aesthetics, I was always also wearing black because that was like the uniform. And honestly, it hasn't been till last year that I'm exploring with colors, and of course I'm not buying many colors, I'm sticking to the neutrals. But in any case, to me, this is something new and exciting, and I feel like for the first time I'm also exploring my femininity with my clothing. So I'm having lots of fun, really happy with all these pieces that I got. Before going back to school, I'm gonna try to go back to the thrift and see if I can find a few extra pieces. Like I said, I did buy a few last year for the fall and the winter, so I'm pretty much good with winter and fall clothing. However, this transition period between summer to fall, I don't really have any nice shirts or blouses to come into campus with. Most of the things that I own is literally like t-shirts, and not all of them are appropriate for having them on campus. Like, not appropriate because there's nothing wrong with them, but it's more of like they're faded, they're not looking new. A lot of them have a lot of cannabis things on them because that was a little phase I went through. So now I'm just trying to find my professional style slash PhD candidate style. So really happy with these pieces that I got. Can't wait to see what else I can find before the start of the school year. On Friday, I had an impromptu meeting with my thesis supervisor because the Planthropo website, the lab that I coordinate and contribute to, that she directs, the website was down, and so we just had to fix a few things because the card for the payments for the website expired. So we just had to fix that. But given that we were already there talking, we just started to chat, and I kind of gave her an update of where I'm at, the things that I'm thinking about, and she was really happy to hear that I'm kind of doing like a pre-field work and trying to get a sense of what's actually out there in the city for me to situate myself in. I spoke to her about that old growth forest that I'm really interested in, and there's this scholar, Natasha Myers, who is doing some sort of similar project but in Toronto, which is not far from here. And I haven't met Natasha Myers yet, but we've read a few of her works in the lab, and so I mean, it'd be really cool to get to meet her. I think she knows my supervisor, but it's really exciting to hear that she was really happy about what I've been doing. It kind of gave me a little bit more confidence. But because I'm progressing so well, she was like, yeah, you're definitely ready to write the proposal. Let's help you, like, you know, with the grants and see what you may need and things like that. So I told her that in the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping to meet with the group of researchers that I was talking about that think there's like a indigenous link to the old growth forest. So I'm going to wait to talk to them before I start doing my research proposal, because I think that if I'm able to bring out these histories, it will just enrich those research proposals for the grants. So I told her that once I meet with them, I'm probably gonna make up my mind about when and where I want to do my field work. And so I'm probably gonna start writing the research proposal in about 2 weeks. So sometime around the week of the 19th and the 23rd of August. If not, then the following week, which is the last week of August. But right now, for the next 2 weeks, I'm not in a rush. She's really happy with where I'm at, and I'm really happy with where I'm at as well. So there's no rush there. But yeah, I'm just really happy that she's happy and supportive of what I'm doing, and also has come back with lots of energy and ideas for projects. So I'm just really happy that she's back on campus and that I'm going to be able to, you know, be around her more often this year, because last year for my first year, she went on sabbatical, but she was there with me throughout my whole master's, and she was working so hard. Like my supervisor, she was just, I feel like, overworked because of the pandemic and many other things. And so I did not really bother her that much during her sabbatical. I did email her whenever I needed her, and she was responsive, but I really tried to give her the space because I saw her work a lot. And also giving me the space to not rush through things. And this is one of the things that I love about my supervisor, and that I want to talk more in detail about probably in another video, because I think this is so important. While we may be very intrigued and excited to go and do a PhD, you know, getting in is one thing, but then, you know, choosing your supervisor is another thing. And for me, I think that this is the most important thing about doing graduate studies. If you don't have a supervisor that you're not confident and comfortable to talk things with, you know, you may be setting up yourself to feel isolated even more than you would expect within academia, because supervisors are very busy people, right? But not only that, but you want someone that's going to be open and supportive of your ideas and what you want to do. And this is what my supervisor does to me, and why I also chose to continue the PhD under her, is because I knew that no matter what could come up, I could, be open with her. She knows where I come from. She knows some of my insecurities, and so while I try not to bring all of these things forth with her, I do try to let her know what's going on, because I think that that's one of the most important things in graduate studies, is having open communication with your supervisor. And I have had colleagues, friends tell me or experience themselves having bad relationships with their supervisor, and where it's not just impacting their academics, but it's also bleeding into personal time or space. And so my biggest advice is that, great, you got into the university of your dreams, perfect program, all that is great, but make sure that you go around the faculty and talk to every professor, see their research interests, see where they're at. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, go onto the website, read who they are, what the type of research they do, what they publish, where they publish, and then set up a meeting with them just to chit chat. That's what I did for my master's. I reached out to 4 professors, and some of them were not really understanding what I was trying to do, had issues or stigma towards the research topic that I wanted to explore. And I knew that there was opportunity for me to actually penetrate through academia with my supervisor, because on our first conversation we talked for 4 hours. And that's how I knew, that she was like a good mentor for me, because she was there listening, she was giving me feedback. And I cannot express how important it is for your supervisor to actually listen to you. And the other thing is that my supervisor is a bit more of like a hands-off supervisor, where she's not constantly telling me to meet or to tell her like my progress on things. And I think also because I've shown her that I'm responsible and that I can, meet the deadlines. And so with the year that we just had, or that I had, I feel like she also felt at the end there that I felt like I was moving too fast. But when I had that conversation with her, she was like, I had to push you that way because you were already going there. And she was like, and if I didn't push you, you might have not like felt confident enough to continue there, right? And I appreciate that, because that's exactly what I needed. And now, I'm going to be starting my second semester of my second year as a PhD candidate, which is like crazy, almost unheard of, right? Because usually it takes about 2 years to 3 years for you to become a PhD candidate. Not many people become a PhD candidate within their first year. And the reason why I was able to do it, again, it's because I had a great support system. And I was I was in it. I'm like, if I can get as much as I can get done in the first year and prove myself that, this is what I want, or this is not what I want. And yes, even though I did push myself in the first year close to like a burnout, and I think I did, but I didn't let myself like really fall into it, because I was like, no, like survival mode just kicked in for me. And so by pushing myself like that in my first year, I knew that whatever would happen in the year, by the end of that year, I would make up my mind for reals, whether I was serious about the PhD or not. And so I did it. I'm really happy I did. And yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at. And so if I could share any piece of advice with anyone that's interested in pursuing a master's or a PhD, it would be, there's one aspect that's important, which is getting in and getting into the program of your choice. But then there's another really important aspect, and that is choosing your supervisor wisely, because this is the person that's going to be supporting you throughout your academic development and academic career. So please do take the time to look at all of the professors in your faculty, read their profiles, the work that they do, and set a meeting with them if you're interested in potentially working with them. Sometimes, you know, it may not be a supervisor student relationship, but it may be like a working networking relationship. And this actually happened to me in my master. There was this particular professor who I did not know if I wanted them on my committee or not. I ended up not choosing them to be in my committee because I like the other professors better, but by constantly talking to this professor and kind of bouncing ideas off of them, they kind of appreciated that. And so in the summer, when I was looking for employment and stuff like that, they opened the network for me, and that was just amazing. I didn't end up doing anything with them because I took another route, but having had those conversations with him and showing my interest in their work opened up these opportunities. So I would suggest or advise you to take the time to get to know the staff and the professors in your faculty before you choose who you want to be supervised by. So now to get back to the to-do list for today, we don't have too much tasks on our plate. We literally have 2 tasks to do, but they do take time. So the first task is to get my work things in order. Everything is fine. I just need to go look at this Excel sheet and just send out a few emails. And then after that, I'm gonna shift gears to writing. So I've been working on my water seminar presentation, and I mentioned that I have to give that in by August 12th. That is the deadline. So that's next Monday. So I literally have 4 days to work on it, but technically I only have 2 days because I'm leaving to Toronto on the 11th. So I'm gonna try to get it done by today or tomorrow, so then I can send it off to the professor before the weekend and I can just enjoy my time in Toronto. That's pretty much it. That's all that's on the to-do list. Tomorrow I was going to go to a field trip to Chalk River to visit a nuclear plant because it's part of the water seminar. And so we were planning to camp there Thursday night and come back on Friday because it is about 2.5 hours away from Ottawa. But there have been a few things that have come up with my work that require my attention. So I'm waiting to hear back from certain people from my job to see whether or not I'm gonna go tomorrow because they're leaving pretty early and then they're coming back late in the evening. However, I do have a 7 p.m. meeting scheduled tomorrow to deal with what's going on at work. And so right now I'm debating because they don't know if we're gonna be back before 7 or a little bit after 7. So I'm just right now debating whether or not I should risk going or not because I am helping set up the meeting for tomorrow. So at this point, it seems like I'm just not gonna attend, which is not a big deal because I mean, I can go and visit that any other time, or we can set up another, you know, field work day, or if they go next year, I can go. But it's mostly for support for my colleague because he's thinking of doing his research there. But in any case, we'll see if that happens. If it doesn't, then, you know, whatever. Life goes on. We're still gonna go to Toronto, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, we'll see. And hopefully things with work also go good. So let's get the work aspect of our day over with. And then I'm probably going to go do some of the writing at the library just to change the creative atmosphere. I love it here, very nice, but it is a little bit isolated. So I might just go to the library, to the graduate study room, or just to the library where you look out at the city to study. If not, maybe we can go to site. There's also a nice place to sit there. I don't know, we'll see how I feel, but let's get the day started because I've already chatted way too much.
My decision, this ambition, everything comes out bland. Look for mystery, if you kiss me, I'll throw my fist in the air. And I'll fight for what is right. You need to make your life feel pretty tight, yeah. all this distance, read my system. Lord, I wish it made sense. You're the difference between my wish list and me wishing it would end. So I fight for whatever right you need to make your life feel like a really, really good time. I don't